So, so we were talking about intention, correct? That's
Yeah.
what you wanted to talk about today.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
I gave you two possibilities: intention and accountability. Accountability is one that we'll do another time, I guess, or maybe later today.
We can include them.
Yeah. Well, they kind of tie in. I mean, they do
Yeah.
tie in. But yeah. So where do you want to go with this?
Well, start off with, I mean, the power of intention. I mean, in my opinion, you could just go on and talk about this like forever because it's amazing with the power of intention. I mean, for myself, somebody that's had 42 surgeries and stuff, it's really crazy having legs that work but feet that don't. So learning how to walk again, things like that. It's you know, the power of intention, being able to go through something so dramatic with your body and then still, get to a result. Same thing if, people want to lose weight or become bodybuilders or, whatever train for a marathon, whatever. I think power of intention definitely starts with thought. I mean, but that's just kind of what I'm kind of thinking. But by all means, I'd love to hear your take on that.
Um, yeah, no, that's an interesting concept. I've been pondering this. In my experience, a lot of people, because intention and commitment are the same thing. But here's what I've heard people say when challenged: I don't want to make a commitment I can't keep. Well, there's no such thing. There's no such thing, because when you have intention or commitment, it means there's a way just because you don't see it. So, like, go back to the training, okay, I'm going to challenge you to create $500 by tomorrow. And they go, well, I'm not going to make a commitment that I can't keep. Well, if it's truly a commitment, you can, because it's saying there's a way. You just got to find it. Like you learning to walk. What caused that? Was it just a shallow promise to yourself, or was it something internal that said, I'm going to walk on my feet? Well, that's the same thing as commitment. Does it start as a thought? Yeah, but in my experience, we've got to let intention emerge from within us to where it lives for us, where it lives within us. Because in my experience, when we have that happen, we'll push through the barriers, we'll push through the challenges that get in the way. If we don't have that internal element, we'll find reasons to avoid it, to go around it, make excuses. Like, oh, I didn't really want it anyway. Well, when you have a clear intention, you taste it, you feel it. And there's just nothing is going to stop you, because you'll find a way. I mean, I'll go back to when I was working in a corporation, driving 35 miles each way to work, back and forth, hour and a half each way, and just going, there's got to be more to life than this. Well, that's where an intention started within me. But then it was like, well, what more is there for me? Well, this prompting came in my thought, if you will. You want to make a difference. You want to be up in front of people. Well, I'm working in accounting. It's like, ooh, that's exciting.
My wife's an accountant, so I can't say anything bad or she'll kill me.
No, that's fine. But my thought was, well, who's going to listen to me? And that's not even exciting for me. But it was just like, shut up and just keep going. And I just kept, this thing kept festering and festering. And then one day I went to the training down in San Diego, and the first day my feeling was, I'm going to do this. And my logic and reason said, no, people don't like this guy. You're not going to do this. Because I wanted to be liked. That was the biggest thing for me. But it just kept festering, and it was there, and it was like, there's no denying it. I wanted to push it away, deny it, all that kind of stuff. But it's like, no, this is what I'm going to do. And so I ended up packing up everything and leaving Southern California for Utah, and that's what I've been doing for off and on for the most part for the last 29 years. But that's to me, intention is, like sometimes in my experience of coaching, we try to force an intention on somebody, where, okay, what is it you want? You got to come up with something. So they come up with something, but they're coming up with something to satisfy the coach. It's not really something that emerges within them. So say, okay, I'm gonna make $1,000 by Wednesday. Um, and then when you go back to coach them, follow up, it's like, well, how'd you do? Well, I didn't do it, but I learned a lot of lessons. And it's like, that's because it wasn't a real intention. It was sort of a forced, uh, I'll come up with something so I can say I'm going for something, then you can come back and coach me and blah, blah, blah. But here's the deal. If you wouldn't, to me, in effect, the coach wouldn't put it like that. It's like, well, what are you going for? Well, I'm going to, blah, 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 this or that. Here's what I would do. I would say, do you want to find out how powerful you are? Well, first of all, who's going to say no? No, I don't want to.
It's like, I'm good.
Okay. So here's a challenge for you. Create $1,000 from an unknown source by Wednesday. Well, what's the challenge? It's not about the $1,000. It's about finding out how powerful they are. But what will be a way of manifesting that? Create $1,000 from an unknown source. So if they come back with, well, I came back, I got 500, but I know I'm powerful. It's like, no. That wasn't really the challenge, though, was it? You also reiterated how you can make excuses and stories about why you fall short. You already know how to do that. I mean, everybody knows how to do that.
But you already know how to fail.
So what I'm saying is the intention is really the why. And the why is something that people talk about, but typically in my experience, they go with a shallow why. I want a house. Why do you want a house? Da, 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 da. But they don't really internalize it to where they create it. But when we internalize it, so yes, it starts with a thought, or sometimes it comes up as a thought, as far as intention. So I'll give another example. I was in sales, years ago doing telemarketing in between gigs as a trainer. One week, I'd been doing all right, making, a few $100 here and there. One week I said, I'm gonna get $10,000 on the board. Not for me, that's in sales. And I'm gonna take the weekend off because we usually work Saturday. And I just felt it. And that week I had people, one guy said, hey, I got this sale. It's a slam dunk, but I'm leaving so you can have it. He gave me a sale. Did I know that was going to happen on the Monday? No. On another one, I had a lady, we did, the setter and closer thing. I wasn't considered a closer, but she said, hey, I've got this one set up. Would you close it for me? And I'm not a closer, but I said, sure. And I closed it. So I had these kind of things coming to me from out of nowhere that I would not have known. If I would have looked on Monday and said, well, how am I going to do it? Well, gee, I don't think I can do 10,000 because I don't know where it's going to come from. No, I just felt it. And I put 10,000 on the board. I actually put 13,000 on the board. It was the biggest week I had with that company. Then I find out the stuff they're selling is crap and I couldn't sell it anymore. But anyway, that's how intention works. We just have something within us that's like, I'm doing this. And where does it come from? Does it start as a thought? Yes, but sometimes it emerges from within us. Sometimes.
So this would be the same as like inspiration?
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
But a lot of times it doesn't make sense. It's not reasonable. We don't see how, so we go, okay, no, I'm not going to make a commitment I can't keep. Right. I didn't know I was going to put 10,000 on the board. I just felt it. And that stuff happens over and over and over again.
Absolutely. I know, like a lot of times, as a coach and stuff, when we're challenging people, like in training or whatever, where they have to go out and do something that they've never done before, whether it's create $1,000, with by the end of this week. The first thing that happens for most people that I notice is they go straight to their head, and a lot of people get stuck there. So
Yeah.
how do you coach someone to get from there, from that inspiration to go from their heart, their inspiration, all this stuff, that intention, if you will, to get out of their head?
You start focusing on the why. I mean, I can't get them out of their head per se. I don't have that kind of power. But I can be in the question, and like $1,000. That's really, that's $1,000 comes and goes, but it's really the lesson. You want to find out how powerful you are. Well, that tends to appeal to here. Like, yeah, I want to find out how powerful I am. But you don't just leave it at that. Yeah, of course I do, because everybody will say yes, or most people will. I haven't met anybody say no. I don't care. But it's one thing to say yes to that. It's another one to get it, to live it. So there's some processes that can be done. There's a why process. It's basically you just be obnoxiously and saying why. What does that look like? What does that feel like? How would that be for you to have that? I did that with a group once. They were having a 3-day seminar, and I was asked to come in and do that part. And everybody said that was their favorite part. I just did this why process, very simple process. But it's why? Why do you want this? Why? It's not that, if you're going to make $1,000, you don't really want the $1,000. It's what you can do with the $1,000. Because if I say you can make $1,000, but you can never spend it, you got to put it aside, can't invest it, can't do anything with it, got to put it in a box in your closet.
They'd be like, what's the purpose, right?
Exactly. It's what can I do with that $1,000, or what as much as we can to make create an experience that's more powerful than the belief that says they can't. Because again, we go back to Bill Gates, $1,000 by Wednesday. He's like, no problem. What's today? Wednesday? Oh yeah, he did it today. He's like, it's done. Okay, here's a challenge, $1,000 by Wednesday. Oh, that's today. Like, oh, yeah, it's done. But, just everyday people, that would be huge to them. It's not huge. It's $1,000 either way, but it's belief and perspective. But then you've got to go past the logic and reason and into the what and the why, and really hit that. You and I were in a company that they talked about the why, but in my experience, it's very shallow. You got to have your why. You got to have your why, and here's my why, and they show pictures, and it was all nice. In fact, the guy that did that, he's actually done very, very, very well, because his why was real. It wasn't just, I hope this happens. It was very real. Kevin has done very well with that. But a lot of people, including myself, we dropped out. Yeah. Because the why wasn't clear, or maybe that wasn't even the path that was going to work for us. So I'm still in pursuit of that $1,000. But
I notice with a lot of people, it's like when they go and they're joining a new business or a network marketing company or whatever, and you ask them, all right, why are you getting into this business? And they'll say, I want to make money. And like you said, the money isn't really what they're wanting, it's what they could do with that. So what's really important, and you keep asking them, like, why, why, if you will, like, what's that going to do for you? How is that going to make you feel? What is it you're really wanting? And I noticed the more you ask them that, because people always give superficial, little bits of truth of what they really want in the beginning. It's like, I want more money, but when you keep asking them and everything, it's, I don't want to feel broke anymore. That's the pain, so what's the solution? Having more money, because it's, pain, pleasure type thing. But Absolutely. So how would you coach someone in getting clear intention?
That's a challenge
It
because
is. It
uh,
is.
part of it is when you're coaching somebody, you have so much time. You're not living with them and walking with them. So you've got to be in such a way and ask the questions in such a way that when you're done, the questions are still ongoing within them. You've got them stirring and churning and within themselves. I mean, when I had this, there's got to be more life than this. As when I was working for the corporation, it wasn't a one-time thing. It was constant. There's got to be more. I mean, I could go to lunch and have conversations and stuff, but there's something that was going on saying there's got to be more life than this. That happened over a period of time, and nobody um, asked me any questions to get me going. I just felt that, I'm driving the freeway going, this sucks. There's the pain.
Yeah.
And I wanted to feel more like I made a difference in the world. So what do I do? What do I do? So that was a constant. So, intention evolves too. It went from I want to do something else to I want to make a difference to, taking steps that I didn't know they were going to lead to where they led, but where when we're clear enough, we'll be led, we don't even know it, to the answers. Like I'm sitting in this training and this guy is getting in people's faces and I'm going, I'm going to do that. Like, oh, I want
I mean, you're just like, I'm going to get in people's faces.
no, I want people to like me, and they're calling
Yeah.
him names, and I can't believe he's sitting there taking it. But yeah, it was undeniable. And so, how do you coach somebody? Well, you just go in the why. You stay in the question. What's that look like? Why? What do you want? Blah blah blah. And energy doesn't lie. People do. Not always, but I'm saying energy doesn't lie. So when people say, "Yeah, I want that," okay, energetically, do I get that? Do I feel that as a coach, or do I feel like they're just answering to get me off their back?
Lip service. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, of course I want that. Well, yeah, of course you want that. Of course you want $1 million, but are you willing to pay the price?
Yeah, that's like saying I ask people all the time. It's like, how many of you guys want to be an Olympic gold, medalist athlete there? And everyone's like, oh yeah, but it's like, all right, how many of you are going to spend the next decade making hardly anything and just working your butt off? Literally 12 hours a day. Plus, it's literally 24/7 for these people. For long periods of time, training. Just for one shot, one moment, type thing. And everyone says they want it, but not many people are willing to do what it takes to get there and stuff. So
Yeah,
I
and
get
it's
that.
no crime to say no. I don't want to be an Olympic athlete. When
Yeah.
sometimes when a question is asked by in a group setting, especially, it kind of becomes a feeding frenzy. If nobody wants to say no, who wants to be financially free? Well, I don't know. I do, but I'm not willing to pay the price.
Right.
Not in a group setting. It's like, oh no, I gotta say yeah. But maybe I don't really. But I'm afraid of people looking at me like, "What's wrong with you?" But okay, I'll give you. I went to a real estate seminar years ago, way back when I was in Southern California, and it was an all-day thing. It was really good. Um, there was 800 people in the room, and this lady who was doing this says, this was on Saturday, I have a Sunday morning breakfast for anybody that wants to come, and blah blah blah. She goes, how many will be there? Everybody's hand. I mean, probably everybody's hand. I looked around, I didn't see any hands down. Well, I went. You know how many people were there from that 800?
Not very
Six.
many.
Six.
Six. That's it.
Yeah, because it's easy in the frenzy to go, yeah, I'll be there, and 800 people, raising their hand, and yeah, um, but how deep does this go to where when you get out of there, or you go to you've been to the conventions for network marketing, and everybody's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go for it. I went. I remember going to one, for a company that most people have heard of. And yeah, I got to go out and do it. Go out and do it. Go out and do it now. Well, this was on a Saturday. We go out Saturday, and it's like, well, me and uh, my buddies, my group, we're gonna go to dinner because that's what it's all about. It's about team. So we're gonna go as a team to go to dinner. So we're not gonna go out and do anything tonight. So I'll do it tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's Sunday. Okay, I can't talk to people on Sunday because I'm a religious guy. So no, I'll do it tomorrow. But I got to go to work. And of course, there's nobody at work that wants something else for their life. They're all in their dream job. No, most of them weren't in a dream job, but they were in a secure job, so they didn't want to rock the boat. But I can't do it on Monday because Monday night, Monday night, family night. So let's do it. I'll do it tomorrow. Well, Tuesday came and I had a reason not to do it Tuesday. Wednesday came, had a reason not to do it Wednesday. Thursday came, had a reason not to do it Thursday. Friday came, I don't want to bug people on Friday night. That's, they want to go out with their wife or whatever. Saturday came, well, I got
one excuse after another on that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how it went. And, once in a while I'd get somebody, but it was usually the low hanging fruit. And, people are like, sure, I'll do it. But they joined and never did anything.
Right.
But that's kind of what we do. So out of 800 people, 6 go to this breakfast. I went. That's all I did. Went home, put the material on the shelf, and I'll start tomorrow because that was my pattern. So when you're working with people, a coach can't force somebody to do anything. A coach can do their best to listen, not just with their ears, but with this. And it's like, okay, I hear what they're saying. What's the energy I feel? Are they getting this? Are they, is this something that lives for them, or are they just wanting, is it wishful thinking? And you can go so far, you could talk to somebody for 5 hours and, you only can do what you can do. It's really going to be up to them. But
Well, I'm looking at the time here, and it looks like we got about a 23-minute video on this thing. So, wrapping up on intentions, what would you like to say?
I probably said it.
It's really one of those things that you can literally spend hours talking about.
I would just say this: when you are clear in your intention, when it lives within you, in every part of you, you'll get what you say you want every single time. That's the question, though, is it living within you that you're going to push through the challenges, you're going to push through the obstacles and the doubts and all that. And when you're clear in your intention, you will. If you're not, you'll make excuses.
Every time. Awesome. Thank you so much.